Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Joe's Hot Takes 25, Season 2, Episode 14. Let's talk about RESPECT, respect. Let's take a look at criminals. Let's take a look at cops. Let's talk about that. This will be our hot take of today. I really apologize. I've been fighting a cough for a month. I feel great. Can't get rid of this thing. But this is Joe's Hot Takes 25. This is a podcast where we ask questions. We do research, try to present it in a way to provoke thoughts and get you talking. Want you to decide where you stand on these topics. Today's hot take, respect. What is it? Who deserves it? You hear it thrown around a lot. Well, that person didn't respect me, or, people at work don't respect me. And is respect earned, or is it just a given? Everybody should just respect everybody. It's hard to say. Who deserves it? I don't know. Who earns it? I don't know. Do some people demand respect but never really earn it? I think so. And so, why does it feel like the definition of respect has completely changed in America? And I think it's somewhere along the way, respect stopped being something we taught and started being something that we just demanded. We didn't teach respect, When I was a kid, it was like, you respect your elders. Excuse me, you were taught, respect your elders, you respect your teachers, you respect the police, you respect the fire. You respect your flag and you be a patriot. You be an American. Now it's kind of like nobody teaches it. It's just like, well, I'm a human and I demand respect and I should be respected. And just because I'm a human or an American, I deserve respect. No, not true. Not true. That's the huge difference. Learned behavior and I don't know what you call this. I think it's just become a mainstream, right? Everybody wants respect. All right, here we go. So we hear these stories all the time, right? Almost daily about police officers, federal agents, correctional officers, firefighters, military personnel being harassed, being assaulted, spit on, ambushed, killed. We just had killings and ambushes happen across the United States here in the last few months. What's going on? People scream at our first responders, our military. They scream at these folks in the street. Record them. They record them with their phones, right? This is the thing I hate the most. Oh, I'm gonna record this. Instead of helping and making things better, they're recording, hoping that they're gonna catch a viral moment so that they can go viral on TikTok or Instagram or something. And people automatically assume that the badge is the problem before the facts are even out there. And there's always these trials in media. And we already know that the media does not like police. The media does not like the military. The media does not like America. I'm sorry, it's real. They don't. The more division they can create, the more money they make. So they love division and they love pointing fingers. Oh, it's got to be the police. Let's stir it up out here in the public. Now we got the public fighting, the police are fighting. We have politicians getting involved and the media sitting back going, this is great. We're getting reviews and ratings and we're going to get more advertisers. That's what this is all about. Okay. But now we have private citizens, not even media, saying, well, if I can get a good recording, I'm going to be a YouTube sensation or a Instagram sensation. I'm going to go viral, man. It'll be great, and I'll start making money, and I'll be my own person. It's ridiculous. So now, at the same time that this is happening to our first responders and our military personnel, what's happening to these criminals? Well, they're becoming symbols. They're becoming martyrs. They're becoming celebrities. Look at George Floyd, that great guy. He was a great father. He was a great husband and boyfriend to his multiple partners. And then the reality we find out, he's, multiple armed robberies, assaults, drugs, never available for his children, was never there, abusive to women. But guess what? He's a hero because a police officer reportedly, allegedly, killed him. Not the drugs that he was taking, not the fact that he was resisting arrest, none of that, none of the crimes that he committed, none of that mattered. What mattered was a police officer kneeled on him and he couldn't breathe, but he could say, I can't breathe, and then he dies. And why does he die? Well, research it. Research it. Drugs are always involved. Okay. So, how does this guy become a hero? And we see it, excuse me, we see it more and more and more. I saw on the media recently during this war and skirmish with Iran that the media reports that Iran is actually holding back the United States. They're controlling the Strait of Hormuz, and the United States is on their heels. And for being such a big, powerful, strong country, we're actually not even winning against this ragtag group of Iranians. That's the American media that's saying that. That's not right, folks. That is not right. And I think we all know the truth. We all know the truth, but we love the hype. And don't listen to the hype, okay? Stay away from the hype. All right. Now, so anyway, it's shifting, right? It's shifting, and the police are the bad guys, and the military are the bad guys, and the good guys are the criminals that get wrapped up in their, illegally in the United States. They try to ram a ICE agent. They get shot and killed. Government, ICE, everybody, all cops, all military, all bad, all immigrants, all good, all just trying to get through and have a better life. I get it. I understand. And you're right. A lot of those people are just trying to get a better life. But there are also a lot of criminals coming through. And we need to stop that, and they need to go back. They need to do it right. I've already done the podcast on immigration. Maybe I need to do it again. But whether people like it or not, there's a shift, and it says something about where society's headed, I think. And now, before people blow their minds here, right, let me say this. There have absolutely been bad cops, all right? There have. There's been bad cops. There's been bad shootings. There's been bad use of force. And there's been bad leadership. I get it. I understand. I was a police officer 28 years. 28 years as a police officer, a couple of years working in courts. I've been around it. Yes, there are people that make mistakes because they're human. But don't say because one cop did something bad, one ICE agent did something bad, one military personnel did something bad, that everybody's bad. Because I can tell you that badge is a badge of honor. That badge of honor means a lot. And I can tell you that a police officer, when they take that oath, they take an oath to protect the citizens, to protect you, each and every one of you. And if that means, and in my case, I worked it for 28 years, if I had to take a bullet to protect the lives of an innocent person, I would do it. No questions asked. That's my job. I signed up for that. That carries honor with that badge, along with integrity. Those are all things that have to be there. Now, understanding, nobody, no personal or professional, no person is immune to corruption or incompetence. Right? It happens. It happens. We have hired people into law enforcement, into the military. We've brought people in that have low integrity, highly incompetent, and morally corruptible. There's a lot of them. We see it all the time. Oh, well, you really want to see it? Go to Washington, D.C. and look at all of them. I don't think you can find one. Not one, right? How do you go to Washington, D.C. on a $175,000 a year senator's salary, and within 3 to 5 years, you're a multimillionaire. Interesting. But this conversation's bigger than that. This is about a cultural shift surrounding the word respect and what respect is. This is about why authority is now automatically viewed with suspicion while criminal behavior becomes excused. Actually, in some cases, romanticized and outright defended, and it's aggravating. And it's very uncomfortable conversation for people. But let's dig into it. What exactly is respect? Respect is generally defined as a feeling of admiration, consideration, or regard to another person. It also means recognizing boundaries, acknowledging dignity, and treating people with basic level of decency. Pretty straightforward, right? Pretty straightforward. So when these criminals are committing crimes, are they treating people with basic level of decency? No. Are they acknowledging dignity? No. Are they recognizing boundaries? No. Are they the type of people that we admire and have regard for? No. Then why are we romanticizing criminals? I don't understand it. But researchers and psychologists often break respect into 3 separate categories. So, the psychology field has broken this down. Let's see what they think. First, there's recognition and respect. Okay, that means every human being deserves a baseline of dignity simply because they are a human being. I don't know that I agree with that. I agree that we are all humans and we should all be respectful of one another until you damage that respect. And when you become a criminal, when you become a border jumper, when you burn the American flag, when you spit on the police, you've lost it. You're no longer, in my opinion, deserving of that baseline level of dignity. I'm sorry, you gave it away. The second is appraisal respect, and that is respect earned through actions, integrity, leadership, sacrifice, skill, and character. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the people that we respect. We respect our elders because they've been there. They've walked in these steps already that we're trying to walk in, and they understand. They've learned. We respect our elders. We respect our teachers. We respect our police, our fire, our military, all of our first responders, right? We respect these people. Why? Because of their integrity, their leadership, and their sacrifice. And they all have character, right? Sometimes that character gets bent, we get them out. And then there's the third thing, which is one that I think nobody seems to show anymore. If you open up an Instagram or a TikTok and watch these videos of people acting the way they act, then they've given up this one, and that's called self-respect. And self-respect really is tied to knowing your value, having standards, and refusing to let yourself be treated poorly. Okay, now, refusing to allow yourself to be treated poorly doesn't mean that you get to treat other people poorly. You don't get on an airplane and start screaming at flight attendants or demanding that you sit in a seat you didn't pay for on an airplane. You don't walk into a grocery store, help yourself to food, and walk out with your shopping cart without paying, and then have the audacity to challenge and threaten store staff or security that says, hey, you need to go back and pay for that. Where did this become an okay thing? Okay, now, that distinction matters somewhere in modern society, right? Because people started confusing basic human dignity with automatic admiration, right? And those things aren't the same. I can acknowledge your humanity without admiring who you are. Okay? George Floyd. I get it. You're a human being. I can acknowledge your humanity, but I have zero admiration for who you are because of your behavior. Now, I can treat someone professionally without pretending they're some sort of a hero, right? And you just, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, handshakes, eye contact. That's respect. That shows courage and respect and admiration. Those are things that are important. Letting people know that you appreciate them, that you respect them, that you thank them. Thank your service members. Thank your police officers. Thank your firefighters when you see them. When they're out having lunch, just a quick, hey, thank you for your service. Really appreciate what you're doing for us out there. Goes so far. Oh, come on. These people get treated like crap sometimes. I don't know. I think that society used to understand all of that much better than what we do today. So when I was growing up, many of us were taught all these things, right? Respect your parents, your teachers, your elders, the police, right? I just went through all of that. And not because those people were perfect, but because society understood that order requires structure, and it's what those type of people stand for. Order and structure, integrity, honesty, commitment, nobility. These are the things that define police, military, firefighters. Excuse me. I know this cough is really annoying. So people ask, okay, why should respect be automatic? Shouldn't it be earned? Shouldn't respect be earned? And why should a title matter? Because somebody has a title, police officer or director, president, whatever. Do you have to have respect for that person just by title? I think not. I think that you respect the position, you respect the value that person can bring. But if that person is not acting with integrity, not acting in a respectful manner, then yes, certainly you can start questioning it. So I don't think that just because you have a title means you just automatically get respect. You have to earn that. You have to earn that. You have to show people. Police officers get out on the street. They stop. They talk to people. They shoot a little hoop with the kids. They stop at a lemonade stand and buy some lemonade. They go in, excuse me, they go into businesses and they talk to the business owners and get to know people. That's how you earn respect. All right. So I mean, all of these are fair questions about respect, right? What is it? Who gets it? All these things. I don't know. There's a couple compelling views here, right? So one is what I would call inherent respect, right? And that's the idea that certain positions deserve a baseline level of respect because society depends on them, right? Military, police, teachers, judges, parents, supervisors, just your supervisor at work, right? So without respect for the structure, you eventually get chaos. And if nobody respects authority, the systems collapse. And now that doesn't mean, whoops, since I dropped my microphone, that doesn't mean blind obedience, right? When somebody's a leader and they're doing things wrong, you question it. It's okay. But you really have to respect the position. Like I was saying earlier, respect that position. You don't always have to respect the person in that position, but the position. And why? Because we need that structure. Otherwise, the system collapses. And what we're seeing right now, oh my gosh, the system is in some ways collapsing. There are columns of this system of America and our American experience that are starting to collapse. They're not going to collapse. We're going to keep it together somehow. But people have to join in and start respecting one another and start respecting the leaders in our country, and our police and our fire and our military. But you don't have to worship these people. It just means that understanding that institutions require some level of public trust and cooperation to function, that's all it takes. I understand we have to have public trust, cooperate to try to make this function. Then you find the right people to do that. The second perspective is what we call earn respect, right? And this view just says everybody deserves basic decency, but admiration, loyalty, and trust must be earned through actions and honesty. Actions and honesty. And that's how you get people to believe in you. That argument has merit too, because authority without integrity is arrogance. If you have no integrity, you're just arrogant leadership, and that's terrible. And titles without character become dangerous. And we've all seen supervisors that we've worked with in the past who have abused in some way their powers. We see politicians who lie, officers who have completely disgraced and embarrassed our badge, teachers who have crossed the lines, parents who failed their kids, many, many, many. So yes, respect in the deeper sense absolutely has to be earned. But here's where I think society's drifted a little off course. We stopped teaching balance. Now everything is extreme, right? There's no more balance. It's extreme. Either respect all authority, no matter what, or you respect nobody until they prove themselves, right? We can't do that. Those are extremes, and we see how extremism works in America. You see extreme right, you see extreme left, you see extreme problems. So let's calm down, bring it to the center, and let's talk about how to be respectful. I mean, just look around, right? Just look around. How many parents are arguing with the teacher because the child is a failure? Child's a failure because the parent's a failure, but the parent doesn't want to admit that they're a failure or that their child's a failure. Therefore, it must be the teacher that is the failure. The teacher's causing the problem. How about the customer that screams at the cashiers? They scream at the cashiers because I don't want that, or that item's too much, or how can you do that? Okay, again, I don't understand it. How about, we've all seen this, the passengers on airlines? I don't even want to start. And the passengers that are at the airports that break into these fights, into these giant fights. These people are animals. These are uncivilized, uneducated animals. Period. Period. Zero respect. They deserve no respect. They need to go to jail, and they need to stay the hell out of the airports. That's it. All right. What do we see? We see kids that threaten their principals, their teachers. People are physically fighting with police officers during lawful arrests while crowds cheer it on and record it on TikTok, right? Whatever happened to helping? Whatever happened to just a police officer saying, come here, I need to talk to you. Turn around, place your hands behind your back, whatever. And people complied. Imagine that. Imagine that. People just comply and say, yes, sir, and deal with it legally through the court systems. Nope. I'm going to make it 10 times worse by fighting, and hopefully I'll get on TikTok and I'll become a hero. And maybe I can sue the police department and get some extra money because I'm a useless, worthless human being who does nothing for society but cause problems. No respect. They get no respect. Okay. All right. So I think we've normalized it, right? We see it all the time on TV. We see it all the time on social media. So now it's normalized, right? It's okay. We expect people to lose to lose themselves when they get pulled over by the police. We expect people to argue with the police, right? Because it's normal now. It wasn't normal in my day, but it is now, evidently. I don't understand it. And criminals now get all the public sympathy. The police don't. The criminals do. So, anyway. All right. So, but should every controversial criminal encounter automatically result in the criminal becoming heroic while the officers become villains? Wow. And I've already mentioned it, the George Floyd case. Now, before you tune out, hear me out. George Floyd's death became one of the most defining cultural moments in modern America. It sparked worldwide protests, riots in some cities, police reform, debates, and massive political division. All right? That's one incident. Now, yes, the officer was convicted of a crime. Now, what's interesting is how quickly the broader conversation transformed Floyd from a deeply flawed human being into almost a saint-like symbol. And that's where some people pushed back, because you can acknowledge tragedy without rewriting history. You can condemn excessive force while also acknowledging someone's criminal history. Both things can exist at the same time, but modern culture struggles with this. And I'm going to tell you who's to blame. Guess what? Starts with an M. Yeah, that's right, media. The media. Now, everything becomes binary, hero or villain, good or evil, victim or oppressor, right? Constantly. And life just isn't that simple, folks. It's not. The same pattern, right? The controversial police encounters, then social media clips come out, then the media narratives form immediately, protests begin, investigations are still ongoing, and suddenly the officers involved are publicly hated, while every detail about the suspect's actions are minimized or ignored. We have to stop doing this. We have become a society of instant gratification. I can instantly get information online. I can instantly share information online with friends, with family, with people I don't even know. Instantly, these things can happen. So suddenly, instantly is important. And the details, the investigations, these things are not as important right now. What's important is what's happening right now and what we think this moment. Now, 6 months, a year down the road, there's a trial. And what happens? What happens? Let's look at the man that killed the CEO from United Healthcare. This person skyrockets in fame. He killed cold-bloodedly, walked up behind and executed a human being. He showed no respect, no remorse, no consideration. But yet the public says, oh, he's a young man, he's got troubled thoughts, he was treated wrong by the insurance companies, he's a nice-looking young man, he's an educated young man. Suddenly he becomes not such a bad guy. He's not such a bad guy. I mean, all he did is acted out on things that were bothering him, and he acted out. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he shot and killed somebody. But he's such a nice young man. What? Are you kidding me? He is a criminal. He is a murderer, a cold-blooded murderer, and nothing else. Right? Do not give this person accolades. Okay. Ay. So I'm going to tell you, I was a police officer for 28 years, right? I never, not one day, woke up in the morning and said, boy, I sure hope I get to fight somebody today. Oh, I sure hope I get to shoot somebody today. Oh, I hope I end up on national television today. That never happened. Those situations are traumatic. They're traumatic for the officers involved and their families. Their careers change immediately like that. A split-second decision changes a career. Families suffer. There's a lot of mental health issues that go with that. There's a lot of things that these officers are never able to overcome. They carry this with them for the rest of their lives. And some officers, their names are just dragged through the mud forever, whether they were right or wrong. But that, my friends, is also a tragedy. That is a tragedy as equal as every other tragedy that happens to every criminal. These officers, these military personnel, even our firefighters, they suffer from the same mental problems, the same stress that you all think that these criminals suffer from. Not you all, but you know who I'm talking about. They all. Now let's talk about something else. What happens when people believe they are just simply owed respect? Because historically, some of the most violent people on earth killed over perceived disrespect, right? Oh, you disrespected me? I'm cutting your head off. All right. This isn't this isn't just an opinion. This is documented reality, right? So here's a guy, Yezer Syed. In 2008, you might remember this guy. He murdered his two daughters in Texas because he believed they had dishonored the family by dating non-Muslim boys. Now, that's what the Muslim culture considers and commonly calls an honor killing. Now, think about that phrase. An honor killing. Murder. Murder of two daughters in the name of restoring respect. Unbelievable. People think this way, and we've got a whole new group coming up in New York and all around the country that are thinking this way because they follow that Muslim thinking, and well, I don't know. How about this guy, Elliot Rodger? In 2014, he killed six people in California after writing a manifesto filled with resentment toward women and society because he felt rejected and disrespected. His ego couldn't handle reality. So he killed six people. Todd Colehip, another killer, reportedly murdered people particularly because he believed they mocked and disrespected him. Even serial killer Edmund Kemper, so look up Kemper, he was quite the guy, spoke repeatedly about rage tied to humiliation, rejection, and emotional disrespect from his mother. And gang culture? Oh, let's talk about gang culture. Respect is everything, right? Or at least in their twisted version. Gang members routinely kill over perceived slights, disrespects, social media insults, territory, whatever, some sort of retaliation. You know, you disrespected me. Bam, bam. You know, I got to turn it sideways. Bam, bam. Okay. The murder of Lisandro Jr. Guzman Feliz in New York shocked the nation, right? The MS-13 murders. Mexican mafia retaliation killings. That's what they were. Blood gang revenge murders. Again and again. Violence is tied to respect. They want respect, street respect, fear me, that's respect, power, that's respect. I don't need moral respect. I just need you to respect me. There's no earned admiration. There's no nothing. Fear, oh my gosh. And the distinction matters because when society stops teaching genuine respect, right? Genuine respect rooted in integrity, discipline, and accountability, people replace it with dominance. And dominance is not respect. So fear is not respect. Intimidating people, that is not respect. A person screaming, threatening, assaulting, demanding admiration, that's not respect. Are they feared? Maybe. But there's a difference. And honestly, I think we have lost the distinction culturally. Now, let me throw another uncomfortable question out there. Why are we teaching kids to challenge authority before we teach them self-control? Seriously, it's all over the media. It's all over social media. These kids that are challenging people constantly. I see teenagers standing on the street with their signs challenging ICE officers. All right? Some of them probably can't even spell ICE, don't even know what ICE stands for. But they're out there and they're going to challenge authority, and they've never learned their own self-control or how to have their own self-respect to even be out there. All right, so seriously, we tell kids, and I tell people this, right? Question everything. But there's a way to get the answers. But we also tell people, we see it on the news every night, fight the system. Never let anyone tell you what to do, right? Nobody tells me what to do. They're going to show me respect. Okay, fine. But critical thinking matters, folks. If that message comes before discipline, accountability, responsibility, what do we end up with? What we see all across our nation right now, entitlement. That's what we end up with, entitlement. A society where people think being offended gives them authority, where disagreement becomes oppression, right? If you disagree with me, you're oppressing me. Where corrections become disrespect. Well, I'm correcting you because of this mistake or whatever. Well, that's disrespectful. You shouldn't talk to me that way. And where personal accountability is gone. There's no personal accountability. We see that all over the place right now. Look, respect should not mean silence, but it should not excuse corruption. It should not shield bad leadership. It should not protect abusive cops, abusive teachers, parents, politicians. But the complete collapse of respect is not healthy either. And I've said that over and over and over. All right, because eventually when nobody respects anything, nobody trusts anything, and when all of that happens, then we have a trust collapse of society, and it starts pulling society apart. And it's right. I'm saying it. We're seeing it happening. People don't trust the government. People don't trust the police. Nobody trusts the media. And if you trust the media, you really need to rethink yourselves, because I'll tell you, they're out for money and nothing else. All right. People don't trust schools. People don't even trust each other, right? Everything becomes a suspicion and a division. Excuse me, and that's terrible. But this all starts at home, folks. This all starts at home, where we have to have, and we've stopped having, those conversations around the dinner table. Parents are gotten too distracted now. Both parents are working. Nobody wants to be home for dinner. We're going to have DoorDash bring us something. Everybody's on their cell phone. They're sitting around the table, maybe eating, but 3 out of 4 are on their cell phones, scrolling Instagram, watching all this disrespect happening on social media. So I don't know. Parents get too distracted. We need to refocus, parents. Refocus. These are our children. Make them understand how to earn and show respect. Maybe schools shifted from teaching discipline to avoiding confrontation. I did work at a school district for a while, and I can tell you this. That is exactly what happened. There is no discipline. It's hands off. Kids do what they want. When one child decides to destroy a classroom and threaten teachers and threaten kids, they just avoid the confrontation by removing themselves from that location and leaving 1 or 2 adults with the single child that's blowing a gasket, right? And if you think I'm lying about this, or you think I'm not accurate, research it, because I'm telling you, this is how it's done. It is a hands-off teaching environment now. We don't touch students. We don't spank students. We don't discipline students. We don't do squat. We might give them a bad grade or suspend them from school, but that's it. No more standing in the corner. No sitting in the corner with a dunce cap. None of that stuff happens anymore, folks. No, doesn't happen. But what we do is, instead of dealing with it, we just avoid it. How do we avoid it? We just go, hey, well, go ahead, little kid, blow your gasket over there, and well, the rest of the kids are just going to have to stand outside and wait. Yeah, check it out. That's how the schools operate. Maybe social media rewarded outrage more than it rewarded wisdom, right? The media and social media love it. The more outrage, the more, it's just like, look, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead. The more sensationalized it is, the more views you're going to get. Nobody wants to get good views of, oh, look at this person. They have so much integrity and respect, and they're such a good human being. Yeah, they're not going to get any followers. You got to be a villain. You want to get followers, you got to be a villain, right? Mutual respect should hold communities together. You should respect. I've said it over and over and over. Your teachers, your elders, your police, your neighbors, right? And stop being offended about everything. And stop recording everything. Stop doing that, because all that does is make things worse. It just pisses people off. All right? And everybody's attacking each other online. Stop it. How did this become normal behavior? How is this normal? How is this socially acceptable? It just is. Let's start rethinking what respect actually means, right? No more blind obedience, no fear, no forced admiration. No, what we want is basic dignity, accountability, integrity, courtesy. Earn it. That's earned trust. That's earned respect. Maybe we need to teach our children that you can disagree, but do so respectively. That criticism and civility, they can coexist. You can criticize people and still be civil. It's okay. And authority should be questioned intelligently, not emotionally. We don't stand and scream, but we do this. We have an open conversation. We get educated on the topic, and we have an educated, respectful conversation about our situation. Stop getting emotional. Stop screaming. Stop acting like this. When you act like that, I can tell you what the rest of us think. When people act like that, we look at them and say, that is an uneducated, uncivilized animal, and they deserve zero respect. And they are doing nothing to make society a better place to live. Okay. Now, let me see. Most of us out here, you guys, we're just trying to survive the shift and just make it home. You know what I'm saying? Every day, right? Police, fire, military, executives. I don't care who you are, where you work, what you do. What do you want at the end of the day? I just want to go home. I want to earn my wage. I want to go home to my family, and I want peace. And the way we get that, we share respect. We show it. We share it when it's earned, when it's deserved. Okay. Remember, criminals are still responsible for their own actions, right? Nobody's forcing somebody to do these things, generally. So these people, these are their choices. Let them live with their choices. Stop supporting them. Stop backing them up. That can't disappear from our conversation, right? We can't say, oh, well, they committed this crime because. No, they committed the crime. There is no because. There is no because. There is no justification. Stop doing that. That does not provide respect for anybody. Okay. So just remember this at the end of the day, right? Respect, it's not a weakness. It is not a weakness. It is maturity. It is restraint. It's discipline. It's understanding how to function in a society without tearing each other apart every 5 minutes. And honestly, I think America could use a little bit more of that right now. All right. So here's the deal. I think at this point, I have probably stirred up plenty of questions and plenty of things. The pot is stirred. So I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm asking you simply to think. That's all. Stay curious, ask questions. Have open, respectful conversation. That is the big one, right? And always fact check. Even fact check me. Fact check everything. And today I'll add this. Please be kind. Be kind to one another and be respectful to one another always. All right, my friends. I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day. Be well.